So I've got that painted belt guard back onto the bandsaw just to kind of check it out, see what it looks like. And actually, the color looks better on the bandsaw. You know, when I had it filmed it from part one of the Kalamazoo, after I had painted it and filmed it on the bench, it looks so glossy and shiny. It kind of looked not like a machine type of color, but once you get it onto the bandsaw, it looks much better. So I'm going to go with that. It's going to be a process of painting this in place. I'm not going to take it all apart to get it painted. I'll just paint it in place. I've got that. There was a plate across here that had Kalamazoo on it, and I'm not sure whether I showed that to you or not. But let me cut here, and I'll take you over to that. So here is that plate. What I did is took some sandpaper and sanded it off. Now, those letters are raised on this plate. So I'm going to see if I can get somebody to paint it. The funny thing about it is if you feel the back side of it, it wasn't stamped in there. I'm not really sure how they got those letters raised like that. Some kind of an etching process maybe, but that's pretty cool. It's raised, and what it looks like is the outside was black maybe, and the inside was red. You can't really tell what the letters were, but probably going to go with a red inside, black outside, black letters maybe. But I'll bring you or show you more as I progress on that too. You know, I did a shop update on this thing, kind of explaining the wires. And one of my viewers commented about this transformer, which I never even thought about. Why would there be a 110 supply going to a transformer that was 110? So it doesn't make any sense at all. There is only 110 wires going to it, so I don't know. I don't know how it's put on here. Square head nuts on it. Not much room in there. Let me bring you back. This screw that is going through the 4-inch square box and through the leg goes in behind that little transformer back in there, and I can't get to it. I mean, I don't know. Apparently somebody with smaller fingers and longer fingers got that, held that nut in place. Let me see if I can get another screwdriver or something to wedge back in there and hold that nut. Okay, so here's the transformer off before I got it clean, or before I cleaned it up. I'm going to just spray that tag off and find out what the voltage is on it. But let me bring you back. Okay, can you see it? I'm not really sure if you can see it. It is definitely marked 240, 480 volt input. That might be 460, or it's probably 480, and 110 output or 120 output. It's hard to, yeah, it's 120 output. Man, I sprayed this thing like 8 times with degreaser to get it that clean, and it's still not clean. But anyways, here was the input wire, and it's only definitely 2 wires, and the output wire is definitely 2 wires. So what I'm going to do is get a screwdriver, and I'm going to assume when we open that up that somebody just through wired this thing. But let me get a screwdriver and I'll open it up for you. Okay, so here is the transformer opened up, and I have absolutely no idea of what they did. I know that some of the transformer legs are just wired off. They've used some of them. This wire over here is what I assumed that they had a switch on this plug down here for. So this, like I was assuming, was the input wire. They've got white coming in, and it goes to one side of this transformer. And then the black leg goes directly through. Nope. The black leg goes to the white on the switch, or the plug, I'm sorry, the plug. The black wire on the plug goes to the other side of that transformer. So they've disconnected one side of the transformer, and this side of the transformer, they've just hot wired two legs together. So I have no idea. You know, it's going to take a better electrical person than me to figure it out, but this whole thing is going to go away. So what I'm going to do is just get a sump and wire it up to like a control box that I'll have up near the bandsaw, so that I can turn this the sump on and off. Yeah, I have no idea what the hell they did. Man, this thing is that old hard brittle wire. You know what I mean? It gets like hot and that insulation cracks on it. I have no idea what they've done here. Jefferson Electric Company. Anyways, that thing is going to go away. I'm going to do a little shot of this area that I told you that I was going to clean out. What I've done is I've moved that milk casing over to the other side, and the small tractor tires that were leaning up against the wall, I've moved them to the other side. This narrower tricycle front end off of the 460, International 460, I'm going to put over by the 460, over by the tractor, kind of by the engine block. I've got a space over there. I'm going to move the generator and put that over there. But anyways, in the process of moving this stuff, I didn't really want to move that grinder stand. I mean, I can just unbolt it and probably move it to our right, you know, a couple of feet, and it'll be out of the way. But let me take a look at it after I get the rest of this stuff cleaned up. I'm kind of in the process of I've got to prepare today. I'm going to Chicago tomorrow, picking up a car and bringing it back. Not for me, for somebody else. But the guy that owns the car is actually riding out with me, which is kind of an oddity. He isn't riding out because of the car. He's riding out because his sister lives in Chicago and has like a winter rat that he's going to bring back to Buffalo, kind of a winter beater to drive in the wintertime around Buffalo. So what I'm going to be doing is going out, picking up the car, dropping him off. He's going to be driving another car back, and I'll just bring his car back. So that's going to happen tomorrow, which is Wednesday. So I'll bring you back. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this switch on here, but I'm going to take off that box and conduit on the other side. So all I'm going to do is put this box back together, leave it on. I'm just going to snip this wire off right here that's attached to that box. Okay, so the cover's back on. Just going to snip that wire. Tough wire. Man, really tough wire. We're bad cutters. And then I'll bring you over. I'll take those other boxes. I took the cover plate off of this 90, and I'll clean it up and show it to you, but I'm going to save it, and I'll tell you the reason why I'm going to save it when I clean it up and show it to you. So I get that fold out, and yeah, this comes off. So here's this entire assembly. Let me move you off of here. Now what I'm going to do is move this over to the location where I want to put it, just to see if I need to relocate that grinder station. Okay, I told you I was going to save this cover plate, but I want to show you something, and something I want to show you is not what I intended. I will show you that still, but I've never seen one like this before. Usually these screws go into a tapped hole, but on this one, as you screw it down, that thing cams over and locks into the side of the box instead of screwing into a hole, into a threaded hole. It's kind of like a cam action and holds it into the box. But I'll bring you back. Okay, so I told you guys that I wanted to save this cover plate off of that bandsaw, and the reason why I do it, and hopefully you can see it. It's hard for me to see in the viewfinder whether you can see it, but I'll kind of turn it, and hopefully the light will reflect off of it. But this cover plate and box was made by Kraus Heinz in Syracuse, New York, and my father-in-law worked for Kraus Heinz in Syracuse. I used to live in Syracuse, and my father-in-law worked for him, and he was a great guy, a real cool guy. I didn't get along with my mother-in-law, but my father-in-law was a great guy. But anyways, I just wanted to show that to you. One of my viewers wanted to know about this motor. So it's a ball door motor, as you can see. The volts are 220/440. The amps are 2.4/1. Phase 3, 60 cycles. RPM is 1725. I don't know why they put that temperature thing on there. It's 55C. Nor do I understand what that top thing on the left-hand side is. MECH, which is abbreviation for mechanical, and then there's a number on it, and I can't tell whether that first number is a 7 or a 1. It looks like a 7172. And the winding is the C84. But anyways, there's that information. I'll also list the critical information of the bullets, amps, and RPMs. On the screen. Okay, one quick shot of the area cleaned up before I put the bandsaw in there temporarily, just to assess whether that grinder station is going to be in the way and what I need as far as length for tables. But one of the things that I want to point out is just as the overhead door is closed, as you can see, and it is kind of dark in here over in this area. The landlord never put any lights in around the overhead door opening. So probably what I'm going to do is mount a light up on that wall with a separate switch that I can turn on and off for when I'm using the bandsaw. Okay, so here is the bandsaw in that area. Now, I'm going to probably want to keep it that far off of the wall just so that I can access the belt and belt guard if I want to. What I did is as I said before, I put it over here because the floor is pretty level crosswise, and not sure if you can see that, but it's almost dead on. This way, it's off logically because it pitches down towards that drain. But what I'm going to do is shim it up. I'll shim it up so it's level. I'm not really sure with the way they've got that. They've got a bar of steel underneath those two legs, and I probably could use that. I could probably put anchors into the floor. Do I want to do that though? Well, I'm going to anchor it to the floor, but I'm probably just going to shim this end up so that it's level. Make sure it's level the other way. I might pull it over this way a little farther. As you can see, let me get this level out of here so you don't get a false sense of it. That stuff back there behind the behind the grinder station is well, that stand, I don't even know what that stand is. Somebody found that and gave it to me. The rest of that stuff is kind of drops or steel that I could possibly use. But as you can see, there's actually room to walk in between here. Now, the table probably will be out here someplace, so there'll be plenty of room to be able to walk through there. But I'm probably going to move it out a little more, that grinder station. I'll probably end up moving it out a little bit, and I might even face it the other way so that it faces in towards the welding table or in towards the metal stand over there, the metal bin. But anyways, that's where it is, and I'm gonna leave it here for now. If I need to use it, I'll have to pull it back over, but what I'll do is I'll get the lift and bring it over and probably start running some conduit for mounting on that back wall. Let me I probably I will mount the electrical equipment on there. Do I want to maybe bring out a little start-stop button farther out? I could always mount something off of the wall and bring it out. For now, because with that table being here, the lead-in table for the bed of the saw, it would be leaning over a long ways, so maybe I'll put the electrical under the lead-in table actually. But those are decisions that are forthcoming, so there it is, kind of in place for right now.